looking at trading on the bourse yesterday, the bourse falling back somewhat, but there is still a lot of upside that is still expected to come through for the NIC 20 going forward.
Well, we usually get these surges in interest on the market whenever there is a big transaction, and right now we have the KQ rights issue which is ongoing, and that usually pulls back local investor interest in the market. But then on the other hand, we have also seen a surge in foreign interest, and I think this is really because the foreign investors have begun to take some profits on those stocks that they invested in during the downturn, and also that they probably feel that now they can see positive signals coming from the political front as we head towards the elections, and that gives them more confidence that we are in a position of less political risk than was perceived before.
Now looking at the turnover, it reached 1 trillion mark, the highest level since August 2011. Now let's talk a bit on that turnover. Could we perhaps see such levels coming through for the bourse going forward?
Well, for us in market intermediaries, we do hope so, because a lot of activity is very important. But I think this has a lot to do with, first of all, foreign investors, because foreign investors tend to do very big deals, and also fund managers who have stayed out of the market largely during this period of high interest rates, more to look at this fixed income market. But yesterday we did also see a surge in turnover, even on the bonds side, which means that there is a general interest in the market, which we hope is going to be sustained.
Looking at some of the results that have been out, we had a housing finance a few days ago, and Equity Bank is expected out with results. Those results likely to perhaps prop up the bourse going forward. What are your expectations for Equity Bank? What type of results are you expecting to come out of the bank?
Well, I still think KCB is going to come out on top once again, but again, Equity will definitely be coming out with double-digit growth, and I think this is because most of the banking sector did restructure their debt, and this was a good move by the finance minister to convince them to actually restructure their repayment structures, because you know, interest rates rising would have caused an increase in their bad loan books. But at the same time, we do expect that Equity, which is one of the ones which lend to the lower end of the market, and so there's a tendency for the interest that they earn on their loans to be higher, because of course of the higher risk profile of the people that or of the populations that they lend to, then the tendency is that they're going to continue to see very strong growth, and I believe that their spread is quite good, and so they should continue to see good growth. Let's
talk a bit on Kenya Airways. You did touch on it a bit earlier. That stock trading at 14.90 at this stage, above that rights issue offer of 14 shillings. Could you kindly talk us through the performance of this rights issue at this stage?
Well, Kenyans are last-minute people, and so in the next 1 or 2 days, which is as we head towards the closing of the rights issue, then we will definitely see a surge of activity with people taking up their rights, and that will really inform how the rights issue is going to go. Of course, it's been relatively quiet. And that is really the reason, because Kenyans tend to come into the rights issues and IPOs at the last minute. So we'll probably be watching to see what sort of queues and what sort of surge in activity that we're going to get in the next 1 or 2 days, which will now inform us what sort of expectation we can expect from the retail side and of KQ's current shareholders. And that will probably define how the rights issue will go. But we are really hoping that it's going to be oversubscribed. I think they already have about between 60 and 70%, considering that the government, KLM, and the IFC have already taken big chunks. So if we see strong interest from institutional investors, then and local retail, they should have a successful rights issue.
Now, looking at trade for today, what are the type of counters are you looking at for trade in today's session?
Well, naturally, as long as we have strong foreign activity, then we do expect the blue chips to continue to see very high activity. East Africa breweries, Equity Bank, Kenya Commercial Bank, probably Barclays Bank. So we should see a lot of activity on the blue chips, and because the tendency for foreign investors is to look for companies with high market capitalizations and also for large deal sizes. We do expect to see continued activity on Mumias. Of course, we did see that share have, surge and then slow down towards yesterday because of the change of guard at the helm of the company. And I believe that investors are probably feeling a little more confident about the direction that the company is taking.